That is the song Satanized by the Swedish band Ghost from their latest album, Skeleta. That album hit the top of the charts at #1 in dozens of countries around the world. It just picked up a Grammy nomination. And it was a major coming out party for a band that fans have known for well over a decade. And a whole new audience around the world is finding out about their music and their kind of curious history now. You see, for a long time, nobody knew who was in the band Ghost. The lead singer was sort of a demonic pope named Papa Emeritus I, who then became Papa Emeritus II, then III, and now Papa V. And behind Papa V is a band full of musicians who wear masks and nameless ghouls. And for nearly a decade, nobody knew who was in this band. They'd be meticulous about never letting the secret come out. But eventually secrets do come out. And it was revealed that all those demonic popes and ghouls and all those songs and all those vocals were done by my guest today, Tobias Forge. Tobias is still Papa V on stage, but today and off stage, he's just Tobias. Ghost just came off a massive worldwide arena tour. In the new year, are going to head out on the second leg of the Skeletor with stops in Canada this time. And I'm so pleased to say Tobias joins me now to talk about the band. How are you? Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm well. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for asking. It's very exciting for me. I've been a big fan of the band. I think I saw you for the first time when you played on, I think, Stephen Colbert on The Late Show on Halloween, maybe, their Halloween episode. I want to say that was over a decade ago.
Yeah. It must have been 2015, I believe. Yeah, we played three, so that must have been about a decade ago, exactly, actually.
It felt like a secret when I found out about you. I was like texting my friends and I was telling my friends about them and, turning my friends who are on the metal and those who weren't on the metal onto you. And now it's really amazing to see what's happened. It's really been amazing to see, like I mentioned, the big #1 record. Tobias, where were you when you found out about the #1 album, and like what was happening around you when you found out?
I was in Italy. We were just about to play. It was it was pretty anticlimactic in so many ways, climactic, because sometimes you I don't know what I had expected, if at all. If it ever were to happen, you thought it was more like a reveal, surprise, and it came in form of a text. Album is #1. All right, cool. And then it sort of dawns on you that, okay, so that just happened. That's cool. And I was just made up to go on stage within 5 minutes. Like, I have to go. And I'm a fairly easily I'm a fairly sentimental, and so I tear up a lot. When I watch anything that's, Love on the Spectrum, it's like I can't watch anything without tearing up. Cats, whatever, on social media. If I were ever to look, I most likely gobble over something, and so this was one of those moments where I'm like, shit. Because it's going to screw up my whole thing.
Right, because your makeup's going to start running and you're not going to be able to get... Yeah, right.
So it was one of those moments. It was sort of impractical, but very cool, of course. Yeah, not lifelong. Yeah, pretty much lifelong dream of achieving that, which I've felt over decades. It felt like, something that would never happen, and all of a sudden it does. And yeah, fantastic.
I want to sort of build up to that moment, and I sort of want to talk about the origins of the band. First, I want to go way back and play this song. Tobias, can you tell me a little bit about what that song is, what the band is, and why you think we might be playing it for you?
Well, it's Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. One of the first records that I had and loved. One of my first idols, really. I was blessed with an older brother who I was born in 1981, so he was born in 1968. So he was obviously a teenager when I was little, which was a big gift, a big luxury. I was very um, in so many ways. It was a privilege to have that sort of stream of culture and teenage culture in my life, and a very, very, very nice mom who was also very open. But my first real memories, every when I think about my childhood and life and memories from that time, most of them has to do with my brother. If it's not my brother, it's always like his friends or girlfriends. It was girls,
Yeah.
and or it was accompanied, and most of them are sort of in tandem with music, TV, film, like VHS, like whatever they were doing, I was sort of like I was tagging on to, and um, that year, I know that record came out in 1983, but it the big year for me that I think I can sort of go back to my consciousness of of culture is 1984, when I'm 3 years old, and the coolest thing on the planet is like Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, Wasp, and Kiss. But Kiss was probably they were in 1984. They What was that, like, Heaven's on Fire? They were they were sort of like they had just sort of shifted into this different band. I was all about the makeup band, um, but the others were like uh, on the charts, big pop acts at the time. They were the shit. I want to be somebody and stay hungry and shout at the devil
Yeah,
and looks that
it
kill
was
and all
big
that stuff.
music. It was it was
That
hit
was shit at
it
the
was
time.
hit music. It really was.
Oh yeah. So yeah. So I mean, they always had especially the first two Motley records has always been very held with high regard
Is there
in my home.
is there is there is there something you think grabbed you about the devilness of it? Something exciting about the idea of shout at the devil? Just given the music you ended up making.
It's hard not to see a through line, right? Yeah, I guess that if you look at what Wasp, Motley Crue, and Twisted Sister and Kiss, but definitely what the first three bands there were in 1984, you look at them and you look at their expression and what they looked like and what they represented. I mean, it's pretty close to what a 3-year-old would say. I want to rock.
Yeah.
Looks that kill. I wonder. I don't remember how much I understood. I understood I want to rock. We're not gonna take, but I learned so much as well. Like I'm talking like linguistically, and in terms of obviously English not being my mother's tongue here. But I was asking all the time, what does this mean? What does this mean? What is a hurricane? Let rock you like a hurricane. Okay. I learned so much by listening. Looks that kill. What does that mean? I had a very educational family who sort of told me what the lyrics were about, or what it said. And,
What did they tell you about
which
shout at the
was,
devil?
I actually do not remember. I know that there's this little detail in the title that's kind of weird that I definitely picked up on later. Shout at the devil? What? Shout with the devil? God damn it.
Yeah, shout at the
Which I
devil sounds
understood.
like you're anti-devil. You're like, you're mad at the devil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't really get that. But no, I thought, and I looked at the pictures as well, and I have pictures of myself that age dressed up like them, with torn up stuff. And I thought that they were the look. I mean, now I'm talking about Motley Crue specifically. What they looked like in the spread and on the back of the record was like, that's how you should look. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want hair like that.
Well, I mean, let's build towards it. I want to play another piece of music right now. This one is yours. A temptress smitten by the blackest force, a vicar bitten blind in intercourse, the witch hammer struck her down, oh now a savage she's unbound, 'tis the night of the wind. That is Ghost and Stand By Him. Tobias, as I understand it, you were playing music for a long time. You were playing in bands. You were growling. You were playing guitar. You were playing a lot of different instruments. Then you write that song, and this is where I need you to help me out. Something happens with that song, and I'm just trying to connect the dots here. You go, oh, that has to be released by Ghost, or like that has to be different than everything else I've done. That song needs to come out in its own unique way, different than the other stuff I've done. Am I onto something there?
Yes. In 2006, I had I was in a sort of a musical twilight zone because I had my teenage high school band, Repugnant, which was a death metal band. That was laid to rest at the time. We sort of just farted out. It sort of never went anywhere, and we had a record that never came out, or at that time, it hadn't come out yet, and it would posthumously come out later that year, I think. But the band was that was non-existent, and I was sort of trying to find my way, playing some obscure kind of pop rock music with a little bit more of a conventional lyrical, more biographical, I guess. That sort of angst you feel when you're single, want to find love, sort of misunderstood person. And one day I as you do when you write music, you write something that feels like that is not a Subvision song, which was my band at the time. That is not, does not fit into the mold of what I'm doing. But somehow it strangely, eerily calls my name. And the story goes, I had no recording equipment at home, and I went to my friend who was the bass player, had been the bass player of Subvision, had also been the bass player in Repugnant. And I went to his home and I just said, like, look, because he had a studio at home, can I just borrow you for a few hours? I just want to record something. And we did it. It did a very, very quick sort of rudimentary demo. And I sort of whispered the lyrics into it. At the time, it was called Satans Natt, which means the night of Satan, as in nocturnal night. But it was that song. And I told him, like, this is a weird rock song that I think if I can write a few more songs like this, because we had also expressed a mutual wanting to play in a band together again at some point. But what would it be? Yeah. And I said, well, this might be something that we could do. But I have to see if I can write a few more songs like this, because this is strange in a good way, but it's like a weird, some sort of new wave of British heavy metal weird thing. And I said, because we were talking for quite some time about that song and songs I was writing later, I were writing to this project as something that would become like a new wave of British heavy metal band, kind of like 1979, 80. Yeah. Like Angel Witch, Diamond Head, that sort of style. So, but that was the song that sort of kicked it off.
So
kicked off that whole creative process.
so why then when the songs start coming and the band, because none of the other bands were like this. And sorry, none of your older bands like this, I don't think. Why, when the music songs started coming and the band really started, Ghost really started, why did you want to be unknown? Why did you all want to be anonymous? Did you know that right at the get-go?
Not at the get-go in 2006, but in 2008, which was a big, like a creative year, because let's be thorough and just say that we were not like a rehearsing band.
Yeah.
I had written that song, we had a recording of it, and I told my friend, and we were also living in different towns at the time. So as grown-ups, we needed an excuse to hang out, and I in 2008, at 2 points, we went into 2 weekends one in the beginning of the year, and one later in the year, March and August or something like that. We went into a studio. He was also like an engineer in the studio,
Yeah.
my friend.
And the two of you played everything, right?
On those, I played everything.
Yeah.
On the two demos, the two demo recordings, I played everything. I played drums, bass, and guitar and everything. I just sort of circled around, and he was the engineer.
Yeah.
But it was outspoken that he was going to play bass. So
Yeah.
on the first record, he ended up playing bass on that. But that is when, um, God, what was it? Like, we probably had 6 songs at the time. All of them ended up being on Opus Eponymous. And around that time, 2008, that was when the image really started to, when we started talking about like, what is this going to be? I was definitely from 2006 all the way to summer of 2010. I was completely determined that this was going to be a band that I'm going to play guitar in.
Yeah.
I was going to be a guitar player.
Yeah. Yeah. You had wanted to be a guitar, you had wanted to be the Keith Richards in the band for a long time. You asked a lot.
Yeah.
You asked a lot of lead singers. You got a lot of no's. And you end up deciding to be the lead singer. So is that why? So when you sort of by default become the lead singer of the band, is that why? Okay, well then I need everyone to be anonymous. I need this to be that way.
Not really. I vaguely remember. I don't know if this was the first conversation that we had, but I remember in 2008 when we were recording that we had that conversation, me and Gustav, my friend, about this is not like a normal band. This is not like your conventional t-shirt band. And okay, so what is that? Oh, I think we both agreed very quickly that it was going to be pardon the French here, but this is a band called Death SS. It's an Italian horror rock band. Has nothing to do with Nazi at all, but they're called Death SS. And I think we were jokingly saying we want a band that looks like Death SS. But we were going to sound like a mixture between, Angel Witch and Kansas, and like big choruses, because what I found with my songs were that they were like a merger between atonal underground rock metal music, but also had this melodic AOR sensibility to it as an adult-oriented rock, like Boston, Kansas, and Yes, and or
maybe not Yes, but
like
I know what you mean.
Journey,
Journey,
Journey, Foreigner, that kind of stuff. And it just felt fluent. It just felt like cool. So we need a singer. I'm fine with singing on the demos, but I really want there to be a singer, and I can be a backup singer. But we were going to be anonymous, and it was going to be more like a theater. I was also pragmatic because I was like, this is going to be a musical project that at some point you need to make some sort of not only an investment, but you need to assess how much time you're going to put into it. And already 2008, when we had what was it, 6 songs, I believe. And Gus was always very keen. He was very keen on sort of playing the songs to people, which I didn't mind, but I've always wanted to you want to finish stuff up and then play it, especially back then. But regardless, like, he played the songs for a few handful of people who all responded really well. And these were people around us that played in bands that we respected and listened to. And you could tell just by these very crude recordings, with some of them, with very unfinished lyrics, and it was very rudimentary. Like, it was not meant as like a formal, proper demonstration release. It was more for us to just hear what was going on. But the response was amazing. Friends were calling up, "Oh, I just heard the Ghost songs." Like, shit. So you could tell that it's hard to assume or try to assume what a crowd will be like, or how big it would be. But I knew that if we were gonna just do something, I think that there is a sort of predestined underground scene of people that are sort of like us, that like bands that we like, that will like this. So I want us to play live. I want us to do something, but I want it to be different. I don't want us to be like some, no offense to a lot of other bands that are like that, but just like another stone rock band playing at a pub, and with leather jackets. What I saw, the music was different. It just sounded different. I wanted it to have like a bigger, more, I don't know, theatrical, be more of like a closer to the experiences that I had when I was in high school. I went to aesthetics, and we were sort of putting on musicals in school, and I wanted to be more like that, more like theater, and so that was my outlook on it for years. Like, I wanted us to be like more like an installation band, like an installation artist, if you will, like more like how I would perceive like Diamanda Galas. She would not play a club. She would play like the concert hall, even though it's also 800 people. So it's not bigger, but she plays in a more cultural presentation. She would play a cultural festival, not like a metal festival. And so that was what I saw in my head, and then it sort of ruined it if it were our names on it, and it was going to be that's going to detract from the image, and literally like the image, what I see and what I hear. But also to whatever extent I might have something that resembles a clairvoyance, I picked up on early that on the idea that social media was bad. I did not like social media. I understand now, 15, 18 years later, that it has pros. But I understood that there was something in the feed, and the hysteria, and the frantic nature of that is not going to gel well with what we're doing. And because you could see it already then, artists and bands, especially aspiring bands, that was very keen on being ever present, omnipresent, and I was like, I want to do exactly the opposite of that. And I want our approach to media, and our approach to image and images and visualization to be closer, closer to what both me and Gus experienced when we got into extreme metal, back when the only thing that you saw of a band like Mayhem was like one picture. That was it. When I heard of Emperor the first time was one picture. I had never seen them in motion until years later. And so that was what I was going for. I was trying to do the same way that I experienced extreme metal in the early 90s.
As the band got bigger, what was the hardest part as the band got bigger and more well known? What was and I remember, because I was an early fan of the band, in Canada standards anyway, I remember like being on the Ghost subreddit, and there were people then trying to figure out who the band was and guessing about who the band was. What was the hardest part of keeping the anonymity as a touring band that was starting to grow?
The hardest thing was because we were a touring band that wanted to grow, because that defies the rule of, if you want to remain unknown, it's better if you don't play in a band and tour.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were sort of
yeah. You're better off being in a studio and never leaving. You were a touring band.
Yeah,
yeah.
The best thing, my best recommendation, if you want to be in a really cool band, is never to start. 100% credible. You know, no one, zero people listen to your band because it does not exist. And I think that was the hardest part, even though it was not like I was being dragged through purgatory, but it was slightly unintuitive trying to navigate the through the waters of coming from a music scene where the demands of authenticity is fairly high, and obviously being in a hyped up band that a lot of people are speaking about, and you're also given opportunities that you've always dreamt of, and you have to separate. You have to understand, as a listener, listen to this, that what I've always dreamt about is that you have to understand that I started Ghost, and Ghost happened when I was like 29. So I had been in bands for like 15 years. I had been working on bands for a long time. I'd done many shows, a lot of shows in front of very few people, and earned nothing but experience. And all of that experience was all of a sudden coming very handy, because they sort of coincided, and they merged together with all my dreams and plans that I've ever had. So I had to quickly come to terms with whatever I said yesterday about what I wanted this to become now meets my other self, who wants to become a serious full-time musician, songwriter, artist. Yes, there's a disconnect with the fact that as a kid and as a teenage boy, obviously I wanted to be a rock star, not only because I wanted to show the world what cool music I could play, but also because I wanted to get in touch with a lot of girls. And with this project, I had very little interest in sort of becoming a known person anymore. That was not really the idea. But of course, a lot of the methods that you had to utilize, and the tools that were given, were things that I already knew about. I know how to do this. I know what even before I had been on a tour, I knew what a tour was like. I'd read so much about it. I knew it was such a natural habitat for me that it was hard to balance the balancing act of taking this art project and turning it into like an ambitious project that was that sort of was ambitious beyond just the art aspects of it, because all of a sudden there was an interest that I had never had in any of my other bands.
But and real risk with that interest. I mean, what I'm curious about is like, I'm curious about the practicality of it. Like, are you having to? What did you like? How do you hide the anonymity? Are you wearing hoods when you go into the venue? Are you like, are there practical things you had to do back then to try and not let the mystery out?
We tried all of that, and another impracticality of whatever ambitions that I had of creating, of sort of maintaining a certain art element of what I had set out to do, was the fact that I had other people in the band who really wanted to be known.
Yeah.
They badly wanted to show that they were in the band. They
Yeah.
really wanted to be recognized.
Yeah.
And went out of their way to do that. And that has always been a problem. Seems like a big word, but yeah, that has always been a compromise, if you will. That was slightly staining the original idea of what I set out to do. But again, I mean, I've been trying to make this band big, and of course, it defies all sense and logic if you want to become big and small at the same time.
When the curtain goes down, and it is, and I won't get into the details of it, but when the curtain goes down and it is revealed that you are you, and the anonymity goes away, what's the emotion there, Tobias? Is it frustration? Is it relief? What is it?
As far as the idea of trying to maintain anonymity and going to lengths to do so, from that angle, it was a relief, because then all of a sudden I was like, okay, fuck that then. I also knew that even at the time, 10 years now ago, we were Ghost as a logotype, as the picture of what the band was like artistically, was going to be bigger than I am.
Yeah.
And so I didn't worry that of course there might be a person here or there that as soon as they see that the person behind the band is not like a 6'3" Viking with big beard, they might not find that Hutton enough and decide to walk. I can live with that.
But just to be clear, it actually got bigger. The band got bigger in terms of album sales and in terms of tickets after the anonymity went away. I don't know if that's related, but it did happen.
I don't know if it just coincided with us, making I don't want to say better records, but bigger records.
Yeah.
We had more success and
what I mean is that it didn't hurt you. It didn't hold you back,
It did not. No. And I knew that as long as I don't put my hand up every time I get the opportunity to do media, I will never be able to eclipse what Ghost is professionally. I can't do that with my I'm not interesting enough personally. I don't
know about that.
No, but it's I'm not comparable to Ghost as what that is. And
I know what you mean.
And when I landed and came to terms with that, I was like, great. Now I feel much more comfortable doing interviews as this way, and I can be the commentator on the side. I can speak about the project as if I were the writer or the director or an actor.
You can have some distance from it and talk about the meaning of it. I remember when that started happening, it was finally great to start hearing from the kind of the person behind it. Then the band just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. More and more people come on to the band. Accolades start pouring in. And then I saw this year you performed in character for one of the biggest rock bands of all time. Take a listen to this. I'm gonna leave you all behind. That is Tobias Forge in character performing Bohemian Rhapsody for the surviving members of Queen at the Polar Music Prize in Sweden. I would love to know what it's like to sing that song for the band, sing that song for Queen.
Hard.
It's a hard song to sing anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those where now we've done a few of the ones that you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And it was one of those because we did play at the Polar Music Prize one time before, and so Marie, who's the bigwig, the main character in the Polar Music Prize committee, and she's the spokesperson, and she's the one that has approached me. The first time it was like, you're friends with Metallica, right? Yeah, they're getting the prize. Oh, great! You want to play? Sure. No. What? Yes, but yeah. What? Okay, of course. I want to be there. I want to, pay tribute. But what do you mean? What do you want us to do then? And she's like, I want you to play Enter Sandman.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's just one of those songs that you don't want to play because it's Ace of Spades. It's like Smoke Underwater. It's like it's the one song that you don't want to do because it's one of the most played songs, most well-known songs. Everybody knows it. Everybody can hum along to it. And back then I said, well, I want to make do a rework of it. I want to rework it and do a different version, and that turned out pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And later it had meaning that went way beyond that award show. But this time around, she asked the same question. It's like, Queen has got to get it. I want you to do this song, and I want that to be the big one. And I was like, God damn, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to play that song out of all. I mean, I'm a good singer in my band,
mm-hmm.
but like I'm not
Freddie Mercury.
Like Eric Grönvall, Freddie Mercury, obviously, but there are these singers out there who can sing in any band. Yeah. Because they're just great singers in whatever they do. Mm-hmm. I am not that singer. I'm a great singer in Ghost. That's what I can do. If you want me to sing backup in Stranglers, sure. Mm-hmm. But then you have to just take it like a big boy and just do it.
So put me on stage then. I mean, how was it when you're actually on stage doing it? Put us there. What are you feeling? What's going through your mind?
Well, the first thing that happened and in the days leading up to it was that I had been on tour, so there was not a whole lot of time for us to rehearse. And so me and the band that was playing, and Frederick, my friend Frederick from Opeth, who was playing guitar, I invited him because I wanted to have someone there just to be part of where I come from and who's my friend, and he was going to have that sort of Brian May role. We had not played the song together, and what happens often when you play a cover, and especially when it's slightly a little bit more of an elaborate song. I mean, that song is not super hard if you just play one part at a time.
Yeah, but
it has that operatic.
Stitching them all together. Yeah,
it's stitching it all together and playing in one whole. That is when it becomes hard because you have to really learn how to count, and you have to learn how to meticulously, almost like an acrobatical act. You have to sort of like, try to penetrate, go back in time and like, how did they think here? What do they do that? Why do they do that bit? And oh yeah, why did they always have the operatic bit on track?
Yeah.
Now I understand why.
Yeah, right,
because if you play the ballad bit and the rock bit and the ending, you're good.
Yeah.
You're you're happy as a pig in shit. But if you do the whole thing from start to finish, that's a big freaking track. And but we had the barbershop choir guys, and they were so professional, like so good. And the band had really done a great job to sort of decipher everything and played with swing. And so answer your question, it was a lot to think about. Remember everything, not necessarily the words, but words. Funnily enough, I don't know how many times I've sung along with that song. There's always things that you're like,
yeah, you kind of mumble your
what
way
does the
through it.
lyrics say?
Yeah,
really?
yeah. What is that line? Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I did not know that.
I mean, it's an amazing honor for the band. Just in the couple of minutes we have left here, we're going to go out on we're going to go out on an older song. We're going to go out on Square Hammer. The producer of this piece, Mitch, and I were talking about how this is the song we send to people when we're like, hey, you should check out this band. You should check out this band. Goes, this would be the song we would send to people a lot. I also point out that his 5-year-old son became a gigantic Ghost fan this year, and he said it saved his music streaming because he and his son got to listen to the same music all year, and it was really, really good.
Okay.
What I want to know is, why do you think this song has connected with so many people? And what this is the song you end the show with. What do you notice from the stage when this is the song you sing at the end of the night? What do you notice about what you see?
I mean, it has a great. Now we've lent that the spot in the set, so it has this finality to it. But when it was brand new, we started the show with it, because I wanted it like a straight song. We didn't really have a lot of songs that were had the same immediate urgency, and I think that there's this confrontative element of it that sums up where I want people to be at that spot in the set. Like, our show is about a lot of things. I mean, the lyrics and the concepts are about everything that is to be human in a world that is seemingly designed to crush us, which is not true, but at times it feels like that. And one virtue I think that we all should, and I'm also trying, is to enjoy life always as much as I can, and to be in the now and be here. Per default, as a dreamer with my head and full of wasps all the time, it's hard to do that, but it's really and something that I wish to achieve more often, and sometimes I do, but I really want to spread that to people and to be conscientious of the meaning of living your life to the fullest and enjoying, seizing the day. And I think that just the phrase "right here, right now" is so. I mean, I just lent, I just borrowed it because it's a very well known and very used phrase. And it's a rocking song. It's cool melody.
It's a great song. It's a great song. It's a great band. Thanks for all the music over the years, and thanks for the conversation today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.